name is Andrew Blythe, and I'm a Professor of Paranormal Psychology at the University of Derby, which basically means I'm interested in the notion of ghosts and how we perceive them. We're in the cellars of the Guildhall, once the holding cells for Derby's court. As I'm sure you are all aware, there are many ghosts spoken of in Derby. Here, at the Guildhall, they speak of the Grey Lady. Is she truly real? Now, as you can see, we've had some difficulty with the electrics down here tonight. The company has provided temporary illumination. If you just excuse me for one moment, I'll go and turn the rest of the lights on and we can begin the tour. Okay, so here we are in the first part of tonight's tour. Many people have spoken of these tunnels being haunted, but can this really be so? Is there more to life than heaven and earth? I think you'll find these cells quite interesting. People have spoken of hearing fingernails scratching down wooden doors, the cries of condemned prisoners, the messages to loved ones that they may never see again. These are the haunting sounds reflecting the overwhelming melancholy of the condemned man. Now, shall we move on? Please do be careful of the floors, they're a little bit uneven, and the ceiling is quite low, so you might want to watch out for some height.
That the house had a tragic history. I laughed. Do you remember? Now when I walk through the door, I feel it. I just don't know what it is. Another long day, my love. Another night watching the prisoners. I do not want to worry you. It's not so bad. It's nice to get out of the house. Without you there, it feels so empty. But that's not it, is it? The house ought to feel empty. It is empty, of course it is. The prisoners always start to sing along and we all join in. We are working hard, keeping everything going. You will come home, and it will be just as you remember it. You'll see. I still can't shake this peculiar feeling. Still can't stop the unease. I wish you were here with me.
As well as the usual criminals, these cells were used for political prisoners, Alice Wilden being the most famous example. Suffragette and conscientious objector, she was held here in 1917.
What are you not doing down there? Quiet! Come on, settle down, settle down. Look, you're locked in. Nobody can get out and nobody can get in, so settle down. Shut up, Wilden. I'll be glad when you go down to Aylesbury. I'll be glad when I don't have to listen to you anymore, going on about the war. How it's all about empire, and our boys are dying in vain. My love is out there. I can't think about him dying, so shut up! And stop going on about the boy. There is no little boy down here. How can a little boy be a bad ghost? There's no such thing as ghosts. There's no such thing as bad ghosts. No one can get in.
When convicts were kept down here, they were kept separately, so that two rows could not communicate their vices to one another. When they were taken to trial, it was through the tunnels underneath the city to Vernongate, and this was also done in silence. The only sound that they would hear would be the shuffling feet of each other. Shall we shuffle on? It has been written that when some of the pipework you see around you was being fitted, one of the workmen turned to bow to a young vagrant boy who was looking for shelter, or maybe for something to steal, only to find that when he had turned around, the boy had vanished. It is said that if we stayed out here quietly, we may be able to hear him running through the corridors.
Well, everybody sends their love and wonders if you're alright. I cannot imagine what it must be like for you on the front, but if you could find time to write, just to let me know that you're safe, as safe as you can be, I suppose. My love, I miss you so much. It feels like so long since I saw you. The days are long, and the nights are longer. I dread them. I dread the night. I need you.
So, even ghosts get stage fright, it seems. Shall we move on? One of the most interesting local stories of the paranormal is that of Hawthorn House, a local building which no longer stands, but its connection to these cells still remains. It was built by a man named Edward Hawthorn and was to be a wedding present for his new bride. It was completed in time for their return from honeymoon. But as Hawthorn was preparing to carry his new wife over the threshold, their horse, which had previously been no trouble, reared, knocking the girl to the ground and crushing her beneath its
Why aren't
hooves.
you replying to my letters?
It was deemed a tragic...
If I knew you were alive, I could keep going. These feelings I have, the dreams.
Shall we move on? There were many tales of the unexplained witnessed by those living in Hawthorn House, but only reported by those who escaped. In 1870, Edwina Price ran screaming from the house, pursued by her husband. Neighbours reported her as being deranged, and her husband, normally a mild-mannered man, was holding a metal poker.
What does it feel like to go mad? The feeling of being watched has followed me here, but it is worse. Worse than that from afar. It hates me.
In 1875, Sarah James was committed to an asylum, claiming her house hated her.
Dreamt I killed my babies. I've never had a child as well, you know. The dream was so real. I felt their tiny hearts stop. What does it feel like to go mad? The feeling of being watched has followed me here, but it is worse. Worse than that from afar. It hates me.
In 1875, Sarah James was committed to an asylum, claiming her house hated her.
Dreamt I killed my babies. I've never had a child as well, you know. The dream was so real. I felt their tiny hearts stop.
In 1880, Bessie Edwards, a loving mother, watched transfixed as her husband murdered their two daughters in a frenzied attack, claiming he was told to. Bessie could never explain why she did not try and stop her husband. In 1900, Bill Turner was reported by neighbours for beating his wife. When police arrived, the house was empty. Bill was found drowned in a local brook. His wife was never seen again.
Whatever it was that's following me in that house is here. It's here!
The house was eventually demolished in 1918 after Emily Bell, a young woman of 24, was murdered.
It's dark! It's cold!
Emily Bell was actually one of the guards working in these cells. She was found with her husband stood above her, knife in hand. She was covered in the unopened letters which he had sent from the front, and she had never received.
Stop it! Leave me alone!
It has been reported time and time again that Hawthorn House hated women. This is obviously irrational, just as it is to say there is a grey lady haunting these tunnels. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I actually have in my possession one of Emily Bell's letters. I was thinking, what? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I can't explain what just happened. If you'd like to make your way back into the light, I think that would be best. If you could please follow front of house as quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's performance has been brought to you by Sustain Magic Theatre Company. On behalf of Sustain Magic, I'd just like to say thank you for participating. For more information, please visit sustainmagic.com and please enjoy Shinning City. Don't have nightmares. I'd better turn the lights off down there again now. Good night.